Good morning, y'all. It's almost afternoon. Happy Venus Day, y'all. I wanted to come in and talk about how the reality is really shifting right now, how the world is kind of turning back on its head, like it's turning upside right, like the poles of the earth, of the world are really changing. And I'm so grateful that I have astrology. I'm so grateful that I have a intimate experience, dare I say understanding, because I absolutely don't fully understand it, but I'm a scientist in it. Hey there, being Miss Z. So being Miss Z, did you change your tag name? But because I'm a scientist in it, greetings, Chavez. Because I'm a scientist in it, I can see it so personally, and it blows my fucking mind, y'all. So one of the things that I love about the universe is everything everywhere. Everything is the same, right? So the universe runs in cycles. Oh, hey, Zakia. Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure it was you, but I can't see your picture real good. I've been watching your modeling things. I'm sorry, you guys. Zakia's here for a minute. I've been watching your modeling things. I think that is so great, girl. Aren't you happy you came home from Europe or wherever you were? Aren't you happy you're home? All right, y'all. You're going to have to give me a shot because Zakia and I worked together for a little while, and I would be like, you need to come home. You need to come home. And she is having so much fun now that she's home. So I'm so happy you're here. Okay. Anyway, so the universe runs on cycles, and it's that spiral. Like, so when the spiral on a snail, the spiral in a shell, like everything is a spiral. So, the spiral might start here at the bottom, and at the bottom, you're going to start in a particular, so it's like a particular mindset. And then, as you spiral, you grow. It's almost like the body, a baby of a body that then grows into an adult. You still have all the same organs inside of that baby's body as an adult. But as you grow, the energy spirals out, and it makes it expands you, and you grow, and you go from being a baby to being an adult. So my work is to assist myself and others in healing. And because as human beings, if you can think about like those Russian dolls, right? Like those Russian dolls that you have one doll, and then you put that doll and another doll and that doll and another doll and that doll and another doll. We really do carry forth our DNA and the patterns of our DNA from our ancestors. That's why ancestral work is important, because you are carrying forth patterns. And we see it in nature. It's so easy in nature. One of my most favorite ways we see the patterns carrying forward in nature is with the monarch butterfly. I was just talking to my girlfriend Gabrielle about this. She's not just my girlfriend, but she works with me over at Follow the Sun. She's partners and family priestess. But the monarch butterfly commutes, what's it called? I can't think of the word right now, but it travels from Canada to Mexico every year. And what it does, it goes from Mexico, it stays there for a while, and then when it leaves Mexico and starts to travel back to Canada, it follows a particular map. Millions of butterflies. One time here in Los Angeles, 5 billion butterflies flew through Los Angeles in the time of a week period. Okay. And so as the butterflies move from Mexico to Canada, one group of butterfly leaves Mexico, they lay eggs, they die after they lay eggs. And then those eggs are born, they become caterpillars, and then they become butterflies, and then they stay on the same trajectory and map as all of the butterflies that have come before this. And they do this every year, but they always take the same route. And even the ones that were born on the route continue with the same map. Why? Because they are coded. There is a code in them to behave a certain way based upon what their ancestral patterns already were. Humans are the same, y'all. Humans are the same. So as I've been doing my own work to heal my karma, heal the family patterns, free myself from what people call the matrix, right? But everything is a matrix. So there is this cultural matrix, but nature is a matrix. Everything is a matrix. So you're never fully free from the matrix because you are a matrix. Like it's a system that's set up to function a certain way. And we all are that. You have a liver, you have a heart, that's a matrix, right? So to free myself from the cultural matrix, I've had to go into nature's matrix to see how nature works so that I make sure, like, I can't escape cycles. Everybody has, all this is run on cycles. So I can't escape the cycles. I just have to release myself from the cycles that aren't aligned with how I want to function in the world or how I feel connected to myself. So the butterflies, why can I not? The migration of the butterflies every year proves how we are coded. We are coded to do the same, to follow the same patterns of our ancestors. It's a code inside of us. So I've been watching myself lately. As you guys know, I use my astrology, my natal chart. I've also used my patterns, my behaviors, my relationships. I use everything, right? But the natal chart helps me understand it. And one of the patterns in my family is around motherhood and how most of the women in my family have not raised their children. Their sister raised their children or their mother raised their children. Most of the women have that going on. And the story was like, it's always like, oh, life was so hard because I had to take care of my children. Life was so difficult because of my children. Life was so this because of my children. And I started seeing that really early. And then when I had a son, my son was diagnosed with Down syndrome when I was pregnant with him. I was 37 or 38. And the doctors came back with the Down syndrome diagnosis. I also have a sickle cell trait. So I was very aware, like during the pregnancy and all that, it was like just a lot of fear and a lot of stuff. But when we decided to go forward with the pregnancy, I had to make a decision. And I was like, am I going to sacrifice my life for this child? Am I going to suffer and not be able to fulfill who I'm meant to be because I make my child be the reason that I can't fulfill my own potential? The way I've seen most of the women in my family do. Am I going to do that? So I had to make a choice. And I was like, no. Of course I said no. But it's a pattern. It's a code in my genetic system. So it doesn't just go away because I say no. And here's the other thing. I had to catch it. I had to see it. I had to look in my family and stop blaming and stop being a victim and go, what is going on with women and their children? I had to see it in order to name it, in order to know that it was something that was a code inside of me. Why can I see it? Because of the astrology, because I'm sensitive, because I'm curious, because I want to heal, because I want to be free. So my desire to break free from the old patterns propels my curiosity and my mind to ask questions of myself. Okay. So so I see this pattern coming up, and then me and my son's father go through a divorce. And I'm like, okay, now I'm about to be a single mother with a child with special needs. How am I going to do this? And I remember making a choice. That I'm going to still be alive. I remember one of my good male friends who's actually texting me right now. he said to me at the time, he lives in New York, he said, Monique, don't become one of these women who stops living because you have a child. Don't get lost in that woe is me motherhood. And you know, he basically was like, don't stop fucking. You know what I mean? Don't stop being sexy. Don't stop being the woman that you are. Like, really continue to allow womanhood to flourish inside of you. And I had to make a choice. How will I do this? How will I stay alive in this circumstance? Now remember, it's a condition connected to all the women in my family. And I see it in many Black women. Like, life isn't going the way you want it to go. You realize, you get grown and you realize you're in this country with all these things about women and Black women, and you give up. And I was like, how do I not give up? How do I not give up? Prayer, my spirituality, my desire to live, my pure desire to live. So I created community. I was like, I'm going to need community. I'm going to need other people in my son's life who are invested in his well-being. And community came, right? Community came so strong that I've had, like, there was one time me and my son's father were going through something, and I was so angry about it. Gosh, what happened? It's like one of his girlfriends questioned something that I was doing with my son. And I was like, fuck everybody. Like, she don't get a vote on what I'm doing in my house, right? And so I made a choice. I said, you can't call here anymore. I said, if you're calling here with your girlfriend stuff, you can't call here anymore. And when I tell you, my community was like, we will fuck you up for trying to keep your son's father from not calling his son. We don't care what he does. And I was like, okay. So I only did that for like a week. I was like, just so you know, I'm paying attention. But my community is for the well-being of my son, not my ego. My community is for the well-being of my child's development and my family, not my ego. So my point was taken, though. That shit never happened again. But I also took the point from my community that, you know, they coming to eat me up, but they are doing it on behalf of the well-being of my child. And I created a community for that very reason. That is exactly why I did it. So fast forward, we are now in this eclipse season. And not now, but we were 2 weeks ago. And my point is I'm trying to show how the patterns from our family follow us from mother to grandmother to great grandmother. And the codes, the energy is inside of us. So one of the things that I have learned as a person who creates my life, I know I'm creating my life. We're all creating our lives. Just like those butterflies that die, lay eggs and then die and those caterpillars are born and they continue on the same path. We are creating our lives because of the family lineage that we've grown into. We're creating our lives because this is an energetic system that is based on emotion and feeling. The patterns that are in your body come from your parents. So your emotions and feelings often aren't yours. They're the emotions and feelings of your great-great-grandmother or something like that. So I literally am like clear that, these patterns that show up in me of collapsing under stress and not feeling like I could have the things that I want because I'm a Black woman, that is something that came from my great-great-great-grandmother, right? So I am really aware of that. So the other day, you guys know I do readings. I've done readings for many of you guys. Best in Booba 8, who are you? Like, I hear you saying hello. What you want to come talk about? I don't know who you are, so you need to let me know. And, if it's worth it, I will. Anyway, so I had a client book a reading, and then it happened several times where they were booking a reading, but then they would cancel the reading and reschedule it. So Spirit brought it to my attention and said, pay attention to this. And so I was like, So I just paid attention to it happening. And finally, after like the third or fourth time, I sent them an email saying, you cannot change this anymore. You cannot. And I will send you the hard copy of the reading and I will send you the recording, but you can't change it anymore. So they were really angry. How are you going to do that? That's unprofessional. I can't, the energy felt that way. They were accusing me of not trying to give them their money. And I was like, look, I'll be there. And then they sent me an email saying something like, I can't come because I have a child with special needs. And the child for special needs, and I heard it. I was like, that's your reflection right there. There it is. There's that karma. Using your children as an excuse. Using your children as an excuse for your shortcomings. Using your children to determine that you can't show up, that you can't push through, that you can't learn. Like using your children, that is a code in my lineage. That is a code in my lineage. And so just like those butterflies carry forth go on that same path as the butterflies that gave birth to them. My mother is not alive. My grandmother is not alive. My great-great-grandmothers are not alive. But those patterns are still in me. They are still alive in my system. And they show up regularly for me to either blame somebody for it or to take responsibility for it. And so I'm just here today to give a testimony, you guys, that this universe is entirely magical. This place is so profound. And when we are willing to understand how it works and then know that we are a part of it. Best in Baba, I don't want to talk to you. Stop. I don't want to talk to you. Thank you. I don't want to. So thank you. But when we are willing to understand that we are connected, there is a connection from the past till now. It is all connected. And if you can look at your own behavior, many of us blame our parents or are angry and because we're doing that, we're not able to see ourselves. You got to see yourself. You got to take your eyes off of the external and get into yourself and allow yourself to explore the materials of what you were born into and who you came from. And as you begin to move through it, you get to reorient it different ways. And it becomes this incredible magic energy that allows you to magnify far beyond, more expansive than what your ancestors were able to do. But you cannot do it by blaming anybody else, by calling anybody else's name, by making and many of us have unfinished business with our families. And as we are in Scorpio season right now, Scorpio season is all shadow, all lineage, all Scorpio, your lineage, your sexual patterns, but it's all about alchemizing it. And this is the season of alchemy. And so you guys, I invite you guys to come do readings with me, but I really invite you guys to come and join Follow the Sun. Come join the community because we are doing the work, you all. And I have been doing the work for a period of time, right? There's a part of me that wants to say it was a really long time, but I've been doing the work for as long as I have. And what I'm starting to see is so much magic. It's just mind blowing. Divine Feminine, I'm male. I'm gonna call you. I got your text message. I'm gonna call you. I just been so internal for a little while. What I'm beginning to see is so much magic, and you cannot make the stuff up, but you have to do the work yourself. Nobody can do it for you. It is your work to do. The thing that the astrology does, the astrology is a map. Because here's what the thing that I know. If I didn't understand my astrology, the client who was emailing me and being like, you're unprofessional, and I would have just gone to war with her. I would have just made her a villain. I would have been like, this woman is crazy. But because I understand the astrology and that I am I'm in the season of Scorpio, I was like, no, look at this. This is a shadow. Where is this in your life? But if I didn't have the astrology, I would have just been like, she's a crazy bitch. I would have not given myself the opportunity to dig into it. I would have just been triggered by it. So the astrology is a map. Bye. It's okay for you to go. Bye. I'm not going to. So go. Bye. It's okay. It is okay to look at, like, the astrology just makes it okay to not take things personal, to not feel like something is out to get me, to understand that everything serves. Everything serves. And I can see that now in my relationship with whiteness. I can see that now in my relationship with men. I can see that now that all of it was here to help me heal the patterns, the narratives, the stories that my mother couldn't heal, that her mother couldn't heal, that my father's mother couldn't heal. Because all of this comes through the maternal lineage. They're having all these silly debates about, is the woman a this or the woman is the house. The woman is the house and the man is the key to the house. But the key, you know what I mean? Like, it's so if a woman is the house, she holds all of the resources that you need to live, because the woman is the house. And so if we don't heal our relationships with our mothers, men and women, you won't have the key to your true power. You have to really do the work to heal the feminine inside of you as man or woman. You must do the work. So with that, I love y'all. I invite you, best in Baba Boo, you can come and book a session with me. If you want to talk to me, you can book a session with me. It's $150 for an hour, and I would love to do that with you. It would be my pleasure. All right, you all. Peace and blessings. I love you guys so very much. I really pray that you all are evolving. I pray that you are healing your trauma. I pray that you are accessing, the codes and the energy, the codes and the energy that will allow you to ascend. This thing about ascension, it's an internal thing. It has nothing to do with anything external at all. It's all internal, and it's all ascending through your own shadow, through your own root core wounding that then gets you into your heart so that you can love yourself purely, freely, and then so that you can actually become who you're meant to be. The ascension process is inside. The process of becoming Christ is internal. It's an internal thing. And so I encourage you to find a way to do the work. Find the way to do the work, however it is you need to do it. The ways that I have found are fun. They are fun, but the work is deep. The work is hard. It's not easy work. It's not for everyone. Everyone is not here to do this work, and I'm at peace with that. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. I'll talk to you soon, Zakiya. I would love that. Bye-bye.